A vast tomb lies over me in Halicarnassus, of such dimensions, of such exquisite beauty, as no other shade can boast.
Good day everyone and welcome to day 364, turn 364 of your daily Civ 7 news update. We have the reveal of Buganda today, or at least the dev diary of it. This was actually, I think, one of, if not the first modern age Civ they revealed when they first talked about the age transition system, the Civ transition system. So here we are, 1 minute 50 read time. We can beat that. So here we go. There's the little image of them there. Unique ability is River Raids. Receive additional culture when pillaging buildings or improvements equal to the yield or healing gained. Additional culture, maybe that's 1-to-1. Considering this is a modern age Civ, it's going to have to be quite a lot to make that worth it. So again, need a bit more information there. Land units gain the amphibious keyword, granting no combat penalties when attacking from embarkation. Cost movement to embark and disembark. Is this meant to say it doesn't cost movement? This is pretty standard, I would imagine, that all civs, it costs movement to embark and disembark, so it's an interesting sort of thing to tack on at the end there. Okay, so they're good at amphibious attacks, which I suppose in the late game would be particularly useful if you're attacking across a continent, that sort of thing, and particularly with the increase in rivers in this game. Particularly navigable ones, obviously. That seems quite strong if you're going for late game domination. Moving on. Cultural expansionist. Okay, interested to see their culture bonuses. Onto the civic trees. Unlocks the Kabaka's Lake unique improvement. Increase culture and food on lakes and navigable rivers. And I'm going to jump down to the bottom here at the improvement itself. So the lake. Unique improvement, increase happiness, receives lake yield bonuses, including yields for all Buganda's abilities and the Muzibu Wanda name will not be mentioned. So I think we do see this in this image up here. So these little sort of lighter blue water tiles do seem to be the lake improvement. So that's quite interesting. I think that's the first time it's like a... I just noticed the image is titled Buganda in all caps. It's like a reverse Dutch improvement, reverse polder. So instead of filling up your lakes with turnips, you are filling up the land with lake, I guess. That's pretty interesting. I like that. It's quite a definitely unique improvement. Good stuff. Moving on to back to the civic trees, tier 2, increase movement for embarked units, unlock the clan society transition, and that wonder, so that's the unique wonder there. We'll get to that at the end. And the tradition clan society is increased happiness in settlements for every other nearby settlement within a set number of tiles. Again, is that 3 or 6? Or 4 is the minimum, I guess, but that could be really strong. Obviously, it's a bit of a weird one because you can't, if you're going to be capturing other people's cities, you can't plan for how close they decided to make them. And it looks like in Civ 7, you're going to be spreading out your cities a bit more compared to, say, Civ 6, where you pretty much always wanted them as close as possible. So I guess if you were planning on picking Buganda straight from the start, you could try and sort of plan around this a bit. And right from antiquity, you could try and create all your settlements really close together. That's quite a strange tradition, to be honest, for considering the nature of it and the nature of the civ you're playing. So that's curious, but an interesting idea. Maybe it'll be sort of the closer you are, the more happiness you get, rather than a set sort of gate of 5 tiles you get nothing. It could be interesting. I guess we'll see. On to the next civic tree. Increased pillaging yields and healing. That seems really good. Raid was a fantastic civic card in Civ 6. Increased the amount of yields you got from pillaging. This looks to basically be Raid reincarnated, so particularly the healing aspect is going to be really good in combat, but if the yields are as insane as they were in Civ 6 for pillaging, then this is going to be fantastic. In the same vein, pillaging grants experience to friendly commander units within their command radius. That seems really strong. Again, how much experience, we don't know. They never put numbers in these things. Come on, give us the numbers. But that seems, I mean, so on theme for all their other bonuses, that any Civ that has abilities that synergize well tends to be quite strong. I've said this all before, so I don't want to repeat myself, but that seems really good. A bit of a late game monster. So if you have them as your neighbour, for sure, obviously, you're wanting to build up a military because they are just going to rip through your lands and pillage everything. Of note, though, it doesn't look like you have. I'm not sure if this is a commander upgrade, but any way of reducing the movement cost of pillaging. There was a really strong upgrade as well on Civ 6 for light cavalry that allowed you to only use one movement point per pillage, and that was insane. So it doesn't look like they have anything there for that. So that's probably fair. That was a really strong upgrade. It didn't make a lot of, I felt it was a bit too powerful combined with raid. But, I mean, I like powerful stuff. So anyway, onto their last tradition here. Increased combat strength when units are adjacent to a lake. That's quite niche, but obviously they can build their own lakes. So I guess if you are, this is quite good on the defense in a way. Probably not something they want to. I feel like if Buganda is in a situation where they're defending, they're probably already possibly not doing too hot. So, but hey, if the civ you want to attack has got lakes, take that tradition. And the last culture tree here is increased culture and happiness on quarters adjacent to lakes, navigable rivers. More synergy with their lake improvement, increased population and settlements adjacent to lakes, and unlocks this final tradition. Again, more lake adjacency, very good. And all buildings gain adjacency bonus from lakes. Okay, they like lakes. This is actually interesting because I recall a comment on a live stream ages ago, and they were talking about how they were going to potentially later release a civ that would be really good on lakes. And pretty much everyone speculated that this would be the Aztecs, because famously the Aztecs were really good at building on lakes. So it was. I'm not an expert, but everyone thought this would be Aztecs, but maybe they were actually just referring to Buganda. So yeah, the lake people clearly. I don't know enough about this culture. I'm so sorry to really comment on how historically accurate that is, but from a gameplay perspective, I really like it. I like people that focus in on really specific things. You'd never go into a Civ game thinking, at least previous ones, to have a lake build, So that's really interesting. Very good stuff. We talked about their infrastructure before. The unique civilian unit is a unique commander unit. I'm going to assume this is the final age commander unit, which it wasn't the air commander. They called it something different, but I'm going to assume it's that one rather than a army commander or a naval one. Increased yield from pillaging within the command radius, so they're fantastic. This is basically the raid card again. I imagine it'll stack with this tier 1 civic up here. This is going to be pretty insane if this is tuned sort of appropriately, but everything here is pointing in one direction, and that direction is pillaging. Moving on to their military unit here, same theme. No idea what this would replace or where it comes in the tree. We still haven't really got that sort of concrete information yet. And then their associated wonder has a food base, increased food on all lake tiles, increased culture and happiness on lake tiles in this city. Must be built adjacent to a lake. Very cool. More lake stuff. Really cool. I really like the idea of building a whole civ that just focuses hard on lakes. Definitely an underutilized niche in the genre, or at least the series so far. And I really like that, I suppose, with the New Age system, we can have these civs that are just so hyper-focused on one thing. Because if you had a lake civ throughout the whole game, you'd have to make some really strange abilities to make that work, I guess. But in the late game, you've already got a lot of your empire sort of set up. And if you happen to have a lot of lakes in your territory, well, here you go, look at Buganda. You are going to have to pair that, probably. I imagine playing peaceful, you're going to miss out on what looks like about 60% of their abilities. So if you do want to go for this sort of lake playstyle, you're going to have to also be aggressive alongside that. Look, overall, really interesting civ. Not one I'll be playing first up, but second or third, fourth game. I really like the flavour of this. Really interesting and really unique. And that's all we've pretty much got for today. I will shout out one other person, however. There was this post made on the Civ 7, or just the Civ subreddit today, pointing out this part of the UI by this person here, Dr. Stabback. I love the art. The art is so fantastic. This is taking one of the best new parts of the UI, with these sort of very overly animated leader faces you get if someone's angry at you. The Augustus one here is fantastic, and an obvious shout out to Uncle Ira there too. Anyway, I just wanted to draw some attention to that because I thought it was such fantastic artwork. More of this, please. And that's all I've got for you today. So I'll see you all tomorrow for a very special day 365 episode celebrating 1 year of the daily Civ 7 news. And I'll see you all then. Thanks for watching.